This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the second annual Growth Capital Expo in Las Vegas 2015. I have with me Ken Harris, Cesca Therapeutics. It's a publicly traded company and the symbol is KOOL. Ken, welcome back to SNNLive.
Thanks, Shelley. It's good to be here.
And it's good to have you at my own conference. It's good to have Cesca.
Right. It's great to see you again. Saw you at JP Morgan last time.
That's
yes.
Right. So let's give our audience an overview on Cesca, and then we'll come back for some more questions.
Okay. Cesca Therapeutics is a small cap company focused in the vascular and orthopedic regenerative medicine space, meaning we take cells from patient's own body, reimplant them in the operating room in the same procedure, and they end up having a cell therapy in about 90 minutes.
So you're in which disease areas?
So we're working right now in critical limb ischemia, which is a peripheral vascular disease that affects the legs, and in heart attacks or acute myocardial infarction, as well as in bone marrow transplant for pediatric patients that have a mismatch donor and they need to have a bone marrow transplant to survive, and we work to make that possible.
So what's happened since I last saw you at the JP Morgan event? Since, what's that, January?
That's right.
You have an update?
So in January, we received our notice from the FDA that our pivotal or phase 3 trial for CLI had some deficiencies that we needed to address. We've been working on that. We announced last Friday that we had completed that work, and we're in the process of compiling the data to submit to the FDA, which will be done in the next few weeks. And then additionally, we have for our heart attack or AMI phase 2 trial, we've submitted that to the Institutional Review Board and expect to have a response from them in the next couple of weeks. And when that happens, we'll also be applying for a phase 2 approval. And so we expect by the end of this fiscal year to be in clinical trials with our phase 3 CLI and our phase 2 AMI trial.
So 2016 is on the horizon. Where do you see Cesca 2016-17? Because, and only tell me what you can.
Right, so we've publicly said that 2016 will be actively dealing with 2 clinical trials, and I think that'll take most of our bandwidth. Additionally, by 2017, we will be doing interim analysis on those trials, and we'll be moving on to prepare our licensing applications for CLI if all goes well.
So, if you would, let's take a step back and let's get into, let's pick a disease. Would it be okay to pick diabetes, for instance, and what work you're doing there? Because I know it's a plague.
Okay.
So our viewers may have some additional questions.
Right. So critical limb ischemia is really a disease subset of diabetes. So 60% of diabetics have peripheral vascular disease, and it advances very, very quickly. And when it works, and when you're insulin dependent, you start developing sores on your legs, and that becomes infected, and over time it leads to amputation. And we work at reversing that, not reversing the diabetes, but treating the legs so that you can stay ambulatory and have a high quality of life, and then get your diabetes under control.
Now it sounds like Cesca in general is attacking some very large market diseases. So could you just touch on a little bit of size-wise of a couple of the markets?
Sure. So the critical limb ischemia market itself is about $800 million to $1 billion and growing very rapidly. Acute myocardial infarction or heart attacks, primary heart attacks, that's over a $2 billion market. We work adjunctively with stenting and heart bypass. We are not a replacement, so every time you see a heart stent go in, we could be there adjunctively.
So that's gigantic market.
Big.
I mean,
right.
Give me a hypothetical number.
Well, it's $2 billion just for our therapy, and we are expecting to charge around $10,000 for treatment. That's as of right now. We have very good margins on our product, and we have been in negotiation with CMS for reimbursement. And the good news is that the FDA determined that we are an investigational device pathway in June, and as a result of that, under the Affordable Care Act, as of January 1 of 2015, we will get reimbursed for our patient costs for our clinical trials by the U.S. government. So that is also a big win for us and really changes the cash consumption for the company.
That's a big development.
It's a big development.
Let's give out the website for more information.
So it's www.cesca.therapeutics.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Harris, Cesca Therapeutics, publicly traded company. The symbol is KOOL, like in KOOL. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the second annual Growth Capital Expo in Las Vegas 2015. Thanks again, Ken.
Thank you, Shelley. It's great to be here.
Good to see you.
Thank you.